Investigators are searching the Potomac River for the remains of the collided jet and helicopter.
There are still so many unanswered questions about what went wrong and what the Pentagon is describing as routine nighttime training. Kaylee Schuyler joins us live from Washington's Reagan National Airport with the latest on the investigation today. Kaylee?
Good evening, Terrence and Sylvia. Officials say they have recovered 41 of the 67 victims and say that they're hopeful that they will find everyone. But they say they need to remove the remainder of the aircrafts from the river in order to do so. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says investigators are looking into if the Black Hawk helicopter was flying too high or off course. An Army official says the Black Hawk's maximum allowed altitude was 200 feet. Now, President Trump says it was far above the limit, but right now investigators want to see more data to know for sure. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says helicopter flights are restricted near Reagan National Airport right now. The restrictions will remain in place indefinitely as the investigation continues. Now, there are reports that one air traffic controller was handling the job of two people when the crash occurred. And while the cockpit voice recorder and flight data recorder from the regional jet have been recovered, investigators are still looking for the data recorder from the Black Hawk.
Going forward with our recovery operations, search teams will continue to work the site. We'll do side sonar scanning, searching the shoreline, and aerial operations. Our dive teams are working in targeted areas, and additional Coast Guard assets will arrive this afternoon.
Flights are still being impacted as two of the three runways here at Reagan National are still closed because planes flying over the river could impact the investigation. So far, around 100 flights have been canceled today. At Reagan National Airport, Kaylee Schuyler, Fox 32 Chicago.
Thank you, Kaylee. Well, the Army has released the names of two soldiers presumed dead in Wednesday's collision.
Chief Warrant Officer the Second Andrew Eves piloted the Black Hawk. He survived by a wife and child. And then Ryan O'Hara, the crew chief, also had a wife and child. The third soldier's identity is being withheld at the family's request.
American Airlines is retiring AA 5342, the flight number of the passenger plane involved in this week's crash. This announcement comes as we learn more about those on board, which included a number of members of the figure skating community, friends on an annual hunting trip, a GE Aerospace employee as well.
Professor Kia Duggins died in the crash as well. She taught at Howard University School of Law. She was a civil rights attorney, a graduate of Harvard Law School and Wichita State University. Back in 2016, she was a policy intern for former First Lady Michelle Obama and a finalist in the Miss Kansas pageant. She was flying back to D.C. after she had been visiting with family in Wichita.
And Indiana University Bloomington has confirmed one of its graduates was in fact on board. 26-year-old Asra Hussein is a Carmel, Indiana native. She was living in D.C. with her husband, who she met while studying at Indiana U. She graduated in 2020. Her husband says her body has not been recovered and that they are still waiting to find out. And we are also awaiting a news conference from the NTSB, and we're going to bring you that live when it begins.